Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show today. Today it's all about Sturgis, and we're going to be talking about places to find camping for if you got a tent, an RV, or even if you want to rent a cabin. So let's get to it right now.
So don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and think about Patreon.
So today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk to you all about campgrounds.
Where to go.
That's right. There's a bunch of great ones out here, and we're not going to cover them all today, but we're going to cover the ones that are around the Sturgis area, because that seems to be where most people start at. That's where we start at. We always start from Sturgis, so go out from there. Our home base is always Sturgis. So let's start off right around the ones that are closest to downtown Sturgis. Number one is the Sturgis Rv Park. That is right there. It's right off of LaSalle and Junction. You go down Junction, a couple of blocks, and it's right there. If you ever see that sign that says Sturgis, and you see those RVs sitting up on that hill, they have 2 levels there. So that's a great place. We've stayed there. Highly recommend that one.
You can walk to downtown.
Stumble down there. I think they even have a little bus that drives around too. I don't know where they go, but you can call them and check.
Little shuttle bus.
Yep. Another great one down there is
Days Inn. That's at the opposite end of town, but you can still walk down LaSalle and get to the areas you want to get to if you're into walking. It's not too awful far, but we've stayed there a few times. They've got full hookups. I think they're going to start to try to have some bands and stuff. They have shower house. It's a pay shower though, but it's a nice place to stay, and it's right downtown there also.
And we've stayed there, and it's a great guy that owns that business. What else is around there is one of the places we like to stay, which is going to be this year. We've stayed there 3 times over the years, is Kathmandu. We really like Kathmandu for a couple of reasons. We look at campgrounds as we want something that's quiet. They've got a bus. They've got a little bar there. It's quiet at night. And that's what we want. And it's easy outs, easy in, easy out. And that's what's nice about where these campgrounds we're going to talk about now is it's easy to get in and out of if you're going into Sturgis or wherever you're going. It seems like the traffic's really not too bad in that area.
It's easy
so
to get
Kathmandu's there.
Next to Kathmandu is also the No Name Campground. We've stayed there a few times. Very nice place. Great place to go. Susie's is right there behind it. And then if you go down around the back way, the next exit down, there's Bulldogs down there. We've never stayed there. A few of our subscribers have. Rush No More. They have a pool, and they've got some shady area. And then right across the street at that exit is also kickstands.
And a lot of people go to kickstands. That's right there. It's actually the back road. It also goes into the Buffalo Chip if you don't mind riding on that road. Takes a little practice to ride on that one. Some people drop their bikes, but we'll talk about that in another video. The kickstands has got a great area if you're into boondocking. What's boondocking? No utilities. You know, like if you had like a tent. But they'll let you put trailers down there, motorhomes, anything in there. It's not too hard. We drove the truck down in there last year to kind of look around. They've got bands and stuff going on there. They do have some full hookups that are not in the shade. But they were running a special, I don't know if it's still going on, it was $175 per person that you could stay in that boondocking area. If you get there early enough, you'll definitely be in the shade.
They have bands and a restaurant too, so it's a kind of a one-stop shop there also if you don't ever want to leave and run around.
So that's that kind of wraps up the ones we have right there by Sturgis. You know, coming out on the other side of the highway there's Hog Heaven. A lot of people stay there. Not a lot, but I mean a lot of people have told us they stay there. So I guess there's a lot.
Yeah, so that's on the right by Jack Pine Gypsies Racetrack. So that's on one side. On the other side, up on the hill, is Big Rig RV Park. We stayed there when we first got our camper. That's where we stayed, and that's a nice campground. All gravel. Kind of got to go through a subdivision to get to it, but it's a nice place to stay.
And another one that's down there, but it's actually behind Days Inn, along the highway there, is called Eagles Landing Campground. We kind of had some people talk about that last year. I think we talked to them on the phone. There's another campground right next to that one. Most of these campgrounds, I don't think Hog Heaven has, but most of the campgrounds we're talking to you about do have cabins. So you can rent cabins if you want to do that. So it's cabins, tents, and RV spots. Hog Heaven, I think they got a couple hundred RV spots, but most of it's tent camping up on the hill in the shade. So that's kind of a nice area to be checking out.
Outside of the Sturgis area, if you're on LaSalle and you want to go out toward like the Buffalo Chip, there's Glencoe. That's in a kind of adult campground in one section. They also have another section that's the adult section is really very shady. It's got a lot of trees, and that's a paved area.
And that's all boondocking too.
Yeah.
No utilities.
And then the other side of Glencoe, they have full RV hookups. They have a dinner theater there. They've got shower houses. So just take
restaurant, all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So it's kind of a neat place to go, but once again, most of these places that have full hookups, you're out in the sun. So when people say, oh, I'm looking for a shady place, we've only got a couple campgrounds that we can recommend that even have any shady. Most of them, like the Full Throttle and some of these other ones that we go to, you're out in the sun. So what else is in that general area is Lampshire Ranch Campground. That's right around in that area. Never been there. Drove by it many a times. We just want to let you know it's there. Another one when you're going out that area where the old Full Throttle used to be is called Steel Pony. They have a swimming pool. So that's really nice. And you're right there on the main drag of LaSalle going out to the Buffalo Chip. And you can sit out there and watch the bikes. The pools are right there. You can just watch the bikes all night versus you're right across the street from the Beaver Bar. Yep. So that's where that's at now.
You can walk across the street over there.
Yep. So heading out a little bit farther, you hit the world famous Buffalo Chip.
Can't miss it.
Yep, and that's going to be another video. We're going to sit down and just do the Buffalo Chip. If you're thinking about doing the Buffalo Chip, we've got videos from last year that talk about it. That is the ultimate experience. You can pretty much stay at the Buffalo Chip and never leave it. You'll see a little bit of everything, bike shows, everything. So we'll do that another time and talk about that. But across the street from the Buffalo Chip is another campground that we haven't been to yet, but a couple of our subscribers were there.
Yep, it's Bear Butte Creek Campground.
So we haven't checked that one out yet, but they said it was really nice. It was quiet. They really liked it. We'll have to get over that little hill. Yep. Next one is about 7 miles out from there. It's called Shade Valley. We stayed there about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was all right. But for us, it was just a little bit too far from downtown action. And we'll talk about that at another time about campgrounds that are out there that you're going to travel back and forth from. But the new owners have it now. They've had it 4 or 5 years. They got new stages being built. They're trying to upgrade it to where they want to be one of the big campgrounds in the area.
And they got some big name bands last year, some 80s bands that a lot of people were all excited about. They went out there. So
what else is going on? We head on out towards the Full Throttle Saloon, and we're going to tell you what's all out there.
So when you head out, there's a bunch of little campgrounds right there. There's Rest and Ride, there's Iron Horse, there's Bear Butte State Park. Now that's a boondocking area also. They don't have very many. It's first come, first serve. There's a little lake out there, but if you're into that, and there's no reservation, so it's, like they said, first come, first serve. So that's a nice place to stay. You can see Bear Butte right there. It's really nice. Then you go out a little bit further. There's Drag Pipe right across the street from the Full Throttle, which is also Pappy Hoyle's campground.
Yep. Pappy Hoyle's got that big Olympic-sized swimming pool out there. They got the big store. They got a big breakfast. We've been out there several times for the breakfast.
Yes.
Jesse's a great guy. He runs the campground, and his wife, Penny. They take care of the campground there. And, we've never stayed out there, but they've upgraded a lot. I think they added 200 or 300 spots last year full hookup.
They've got tons of cabins, too, you can rent.
So they've got the cabins there. They got that. Plus, also gets you into watching all the concerts at the Full Throttle for free. So where we're going after that is we're going to head on over to Spearfish. One campground, if you really want looking for a shady area and you got an RV. Now, not all their spots are, but a lot of them are when we were checking it out. And it's called Chris's Campground. It's been family owned. You can go back to 2020, look in our playlist, and find Spearfish Campground. And we did a complete review. You can check it out. Several pools, lots of bathrooms, 2 laundromats. It's a nice campground.
It is. And nice people.
Yep. Next one out there is where the big names stay. And actually one of our subscribers stay there, so they must be big names too.
They are big names.
And that's called?
Elkhorn Ridge Campground. That's in Spearfish. That's if you take the exit before you go to Spearfish Canyon. It's the road that goes from 95 out to Deadwood. So it's in between Spearfish and Deadwood, and nice campground.
It's all concrete pads. It's supposed to be Cadillac. And we'll get out there. We were invited, but we didn't make it out there last year. But hopefully this year we'll get out there and we'll check that one out. Yep. So that's a couple campgrounds there around that area. Also because since we're so close to that, is Deadwood. Deadwood's got a couple there that we have been to and checked out and we're okay with. One of them is the actually right before you get into Deadwood, if you're coming from Sturgis, if you're looking for that freebie campground, left-hand side, there's a road, it's called Camp 5 Road. You make a left, and right at the bottom of that hill, it is BLM land, which stands for Bureau Land Management, which is federal land that you're allowed to camp on. And it's free.
No utilities.
Yep. It's 14-day maximum stay, but it's free. And if you can get down there and you don't mind it, and there's some great area back there, there's a little creek, there's no water in it, but if it rains, you might be a little stranded if it gets really bad. But
on the bike, getting the bike in and out. So
a car and truck probably wouldn't be no big deal, but that's an option if you're looking for something for free. Once again, no reservations there either.
No. First come, first serve. And then when you get into Deadwood, there's the 76 campground right at 76 Museum. We stayed there for the 3-Wheel Rally last year. Nice place, gravel road. They have full hookups.
And the very last one we'll talk about, it's which we've never been to, but we've had a lot of people recommend it. We've drove past it a lot, and it's called Fish and Fry. It's right out there on a little creek, a little river. I don't know which one it's on, but you can catch your fish out of there and take it in, and they will clean them and cook them up for you.
Fry them for you.
Yep. So that might be a place you want to check out. I don't know what other features they have, but we're going to try to get out there this year, 2022, and take a look around the place, and maybe we can talk to them. So that's going to be our list for today, because there's, I don't know, hundreds,
thousands,
if not 1,000 campgrounds, and people drive from Montana, and they stay in North Dakota, and they stay all over the place. So people
out by the Badlands, out by Devil's Tower. There's lots of camping all over.
Yeah. So it depends on how far you want to go to the action. And we'll talk about that on another video too, about where you might want to stay depending on what you want to do. So at that, we're going to go ahead and leave. Oh, I want to leave you one more thing. If you stay at a campground that we have not listed here today, put it down here in the comments and say, hey, I've stayed at blah, 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 and this is why it's a great place. And that way maybe we'll check it out.
What your experience is and where you like to stay.
We can add it to the list of letting people know what's out in different areas. Because that's the only way we learn is from our subscribers and also from our locals that live out there.
Yep.
We have a lot of locals watching our channel. So with that, we're going to leave you right here.
We hope you get a lot of good information out of this. Let us know where you stayed and where you're going to stay this year. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
And we got a lot of videos coming out. Got some highlight videos that we've been playing. Daytona's coming up here really quick. And we're getting ready to hit the road here in the next couple of weeks. Yep. We're already going to be heading to Florida. We're going to be giving you a full detail of everything that's going on in Florida.
Hopefully it's warmer there. Turn up the heat.
It is right now. It's a little cool here, but we're supposed to hit 70 this weekend. So we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.